Hello everyone, I am Jesse, or 𝐴𝐵𝐲𝐿𝐿, here with Daniel and Hylian Luke. Today we're going to be talking about a stupid rumor from a geek tyrant website.
GeekTyrant.com.
Yeah, this is, the title says, a new rumor claims to have details about Breath of the Wild 2, including release window. It goes on to say at this year's E3, Nintendo dropped a doozy of announcement with the direct sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fans everywhere lost their collective minds. Well, according to a new rumor, we have a release window, name, and synopsis. The catch is that this rumor comes from 4chan. So take it with a very unhealthy amount of salt. That is the one thing.
Have a heart attack, like that's from all the sodium intake because of all the salt you're.
This is the thing.
Need to take.
It's okay when someone's talking and you just like casually say like, yeah, take it with a grain of salt, blah, blah, blah. But if you are a journalist, like you're actually writing for a website, this phrase is so overused. Like there are so many other, what is it? Like synonyms and stuff that you could use for it.
Jesse, they want the clicks.
Yeah. No, I'm just talking about the take it with a grain of salt thing. Like you could switch it up, use other metaphors and stuff.
But Jesse,
what?
The clicks.
The clicks.
They want them.
They just want to. That's all they want.
Oh, okay, I got it. At first I was like, how does that statement get them clicks? But then you're saying like they don't care, they just want the clicks. Okay, I got it.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, exactly.
According to the rumor, Breath of the Wild 2 will be called Breath of Darkness. Breath of Darkness. Because the game's gonna be dark. Get it?
Get it?
Get it?
It's gonna be dark.
It's gonna be dark.
It's gonna be dark. Dark through a lack of light.
Darkness. That was my brother. Darkness.
Okay, so continuing. According to the rumor, Breath of the Wild 2 will be called Breath of Darkness and release at the same time as the Switch 2, sometimes called the Switch Pro by fans.
It's not a thing. It's not real.
Here's the thing. Switch 2 came out. No, Switch 2 will come out in like a few months, right?
What? Are you talking about the improved Switch?
No, the Switch Lite.
The Switch Lite, yeah, comes out like next month.
Yeah, that is technically the Switch 2. That is the second iteration, like the second revision, or the first revision, so the second model of the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, unless they're talking about the current, like the updated Switch model, which is
no,
just
they're talking about the Switch Pro. Like they have Switch Pro highlighted. That's what they're talking about. So
yeah,
they think
that's not a thing.
Just as Breath of the Wild released with the Switch, they think Breath of the Wild 2 will release with the Switch Pro, which would be interesting. Like if they did do that, I would definitely do it. Kind of like what they're doing with Pokemon and the Switch Lite. So, continuing. Sometimes called Switch Pro by fans, which is rumored to be a more powerful Switch that will be exclusive to home use with no ability for. Okay, I get it now. The window is said to be somewhere between late 2020 and early 2021. This is a big window, but also it makes sense as Nintendo will probably want the game to launch for holiday season, as here's the synopsis provided. So before we get to their story, that release window, that is like half a year. That is like a 6-month release window that they have pinned down there.
Yeah,
like
late this 1 year, maybe early next.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, that's
that.
Nah.
Oh jeez, I do believe the game will release in 2020 though. Like I firmly believe that from all of the interviews and things that I've read.
Well, sure, that gives it 3 years after the first game released. Like
yeah, and Breath of the Wild was originally supposed to take 3 years before they found out they had no idea how to develop for HD consoles, and the Wii U turned out to be extremely difficult to develop for. So that's why it ended up taking a lot longer, and they had problems with the physics engine, and then when they decided, oh, we're getting close to fixing it, getting the engine exactly how we want, then Iwata comes in and is like, hey, put it on the Switch. and they're like, so now we have to work on 2 versions for 2 completely different like game systems. So that's why it was delayed so long. But Breath of the Wild, as it is now, was originally meant to take 3 years. So Breath of the Wild 2, now everything is perfect. They're working on it on the Switch, not the Wii U, just the Switch, which everyone has said is extremely easy to develop for. So there is absolutely no reason that it would take longer than 3 years. Wind Waker took like 2 to 3 years to make, and that was like a brand new game on a brand new console using a brand new engine and a brand new art style. So yeah, anyways, continuing on, we have a lot of other videos that talk about all this stuff, but if you want to talk to one of us personally, especially me, you can reach out on Twitter or something, or my Discord. There's links in the description. And if you want to be caught up on all the news, I'll be happy to send you all of the sources and interviews and stuff that we have gathered, because there's a lot of them. Anyways, the synopsis for the game. Any world... No, Daniel, you take this one.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It's pretty cringy. Are you guys ready for the cringe?
Do a dramatic reading.
In a world now in ruin, only the power...
No, stop. More dramatic.
In a world now in ruins, only the power of the united Triforce can stop a millennial curse once confined with a dark power sealed by time and darkness, which has finally awakened.
Damn.
Dang. I'm just gonna say that first of all, I like switched directions like 3 times in there, but it was
Sean and Patricia are gonna be jealous.
Oh dang. But also this synopsis is not only like a horrible run-on sentence, so it's grammatically pretty bad, but also it doesn't say it says that gives 0 information. It's just like a lot of words that mean nothing.
This is literally, you could use this for the first Breath of the Wild. Any world now in ruins, only the power of the united Triforce can stop a millennial curse once confined with the dark power sealed by time and darkness, which has finally awakened. That is literally Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
That is almost every Zelda game.
Now I gotta add some details here, Jesse. This is a hot pile of garbage, this article. So just putting that out there.
Damn.
But I went and took a look into the
shots
source
fired
of the article.
at...
Sorry, GeekTyrant.com.
No, who's Tommy Williams?
Tommy Williams. Sorry, Tommy.
Let's see what other...
you can only report so much on garbage and make it look any better than it is.
Let's see what other hot fire he's written.
I looked into the source of it, and the 4chan post is
Kevin Hart to star in comedic superhero film Nightwolf.
Weird. So the 4chan posts that they're pulling this information from is also a hot pile of garbage. So supposedly, sources close to the top of Nintendo talk about how the marketing strategy with the Switch brand and its expansion in the market has finalized recently, and it goes on a bunch of stuff. And one of the things that really stands out to me is that they are like, the final name has not yet been completed. The code name for the Switch 2 is Switch 2. And like Nintendo that's not how they do code names. They're not just like Switch 2. Like even the Wii U, which is like a sequel to the Wii, they could have called that the Wii 2.
I think it was Project Cafe.
It was Project Cafe. They've always had like working names. This SNES was Canoe for some reason. The Nintendo 64 was like, I can't remember exactly. It was Ultra 64 for the longest time publicly. It definitely had an internal development name that was different from that. The GameCube was Dolphin. The Wii was the Revolution. So they've always had...
Wii. I don't think the Wii was the... I could be wrong.
No, you're right.
Wii was Dolphin.
No, GameCube was definitely Dolphin.
Yeah, that's why.
But
Wii was going to be named the Revolution.
It was going to be named.
That's what they announced it as when they showed it off.
Right. Then they changed the name to the Wii.
So it had, it had a
different code name.
Yeah.
That I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'll look it up.
But the point is that Nintendo, if they were making a Switch 2, internally, they would not call it Switch 2. They would come up with a clever
I wonder what the Virtual
name
Boy
for it. Like even the
code name
Switch, they
was.
had NX for the longest time, right? So, I don't know. It's just the whole thing is so far-fetched.
Okay. Anyways,
Yeah.
we're gonna clip that out into its own thing, make a video out of it. But going back to this thing,
This hot pile of garbage article.
yeah, Luke, give us your thoughts
Yes.
About
Please.
about the article.
I don't even remember what we were talking about. Was it the laughable?
No, the laughable
Yeah,
rumor.
Okay, with like Breath of Darkness or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, no, seriously though, what do you guys think it's going to be? If you guys could
Okay.
come up with the name right now, what would it be?
Okay, I would be Legend of Zelda: Talk to the Hand. No.
Tingle's Adventure.
Tingle's Adventure. Okay. No. I think that rumor does sound kind of dumb, but I do
They
have
described
to say
every Zelda game.
they really did. They really did.
Really did.
How and you did make a good point about how like especially since it's been like 3 years after Breath of the Wild came out, like they should probably release it next year. But I did remember that the last DLC pack came out a couple months before the 1-year anniversary, so they were still working on Breath of the Wild 1 even after release, and they weren't working on the sequel yet. So it's technically, I want to say, to me, it's technically 2 years. So 21 doesn't sound too far-fetched.
Split team. I think it's kind of what they did though, is that they split the team, and some of them stayed behind to work on patches and just the DLC projects, and then some of them started doing at least concepts for the next game.
That's possible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That is
And
very possible.
They definitely could have. Yeah, and didn't they get the Xenoblade Chronicle team for the sequel?
Yeah. Well,
So-
I think some of them were already working on the.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The Xenoblade team, like a ton of them, were already working on Breath of the Wild. And then they hired a bunch of new people to officially work on a Zelda project. Like they came out, said they are working on a Zelda project. And then maybe a month ago, there was another article I seen saying that there were more. Oh, we got $2 saying game over from Chris P. Thank you. Everybody say thank you.
Thank you, Chris P.
Oh, I like that.
Thank you, Chris.
I like that too.
Krispy Kreme.
If you have a question, we will answer it. You don't have to donate again, obviously. But what I was saying is that. What was I saying?
You were talking about Breath of the Wild development with the Xenoblade
Yeah,
Chronicle
so not long ago they
That
came out
one.
with an article saying that part of the Monolith Soft team was working
Yes.
on Breath of the Wild 2. Now, here's the thing. We don't know if 2 teams at Monolith Soft is working on Breath of the Zelda projects. Like they could have that one, like the team that they came out, hired, made a big deal about working on their own Zelda project. We don't know if that Zelda project is just helping out with Breath of the Wild 2, or if it's its own thing. And then a separate team is also helping out on Breath of the Wild. So they could be working on 2 separate things with Monolith Soft. Like they could have their own Zelda project, and they could also be working on Breath of the Wild 2 with another team.
Okay.
So, like, it wasn't very clear in the article if there were 2 teams or if it was just the Zelda project team. Instead of working on their own project, now they're working on Breath of the Wild 2, or the new team could be working on their own original Zelda project or a remake of some kind.
True.
And then a separate team is joining the Breath of the Wild 2 team, just as tons of 100 or however many 80 something, I don't know, people from Monolith Soft joined on Breath of the Wild, which is why we ended up with Breath of the Wild DLC for free in Breath of the Wild. There was the whole quest with the outfit and everything.
But it was really just more clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I can see that, yeah, because that would actually kind of make sense because they could have had the main Zelda team working on all the DLC for Breath of the Wild 1. Meanwhile, Monolith Soft, who's done a ton of Xenoblade Chronicle, like open world games, so they have a lot of experience with that stuff. Nintendo could have totally hired them to start working on all these other ideas that Aonuma and the team had for the sequel while they did all the DLC. And then since they finished the DLC, then they rejoined with those teams and started working on the sequel.
Okay.
Plus spin-off stuff.
So you are right, because I think there was an interview where they mentioned that because Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has such a huge overworld that a lot of them did work on shrines and stuff or whatever, and like they were spread out helping basically everywhere, but a huge portion of them, because they were used to building such a huge world in Xenoblade, like all of the Xenoblade games, even for the Wii, they ended up working on detailing the overworld itself. Because it is so huge, they needed all the extra people to go through and make sure that it wasn't empty. Like no matter where you went, you would find like a turned over statue or something destroyed, but there's still a lot of, even though it's destroyed, you can still see a lot of detail and stuff in it, and like you can kind of build a story around what happened. So they did a really good job in that. So Luke, you were right in that.
Did.
Thanks.
Daniel,
Jesse.
what are your final thoughts?
Jesse.
James. That, oh no, I've driven him away again. No.
Get up, get up, get up, and be a player. Get up, get up, get up. Okay. He's out.
He's out.
He left.
Gone. He's gone out the door.
He's out the door.
Dear.
Should we wait for him or just?
I've got no further thoughts on this. I think I'm ready to move to the next topic.
I kind of want to just talk about the SNES controller, maybe the Nintendo Music thing, and then kind of move on. Go to the Zelda mailbag.
Yeah. Well, the controller thing that's in the docket here. Jesse had possibly discussed game theory nonsense. Here's what's to discuss. They stole my video. No, they. But no one's bitter.
Oh jeez.
They stole it. but then they kind of stole it, but then watered it down and then made it make less sense somehow.
Jesse left his screen. He's gonna appear on mine, according to Gustavo. He just
like
kind
the garage door just opens and
Jesse just walks in and he just picks me up and he takes me to his camera and he comes back to mine, sits down. Now where were we?
Oh, I love that. The garage door opens. Jesse drives in. Opens the door. Get in.
He just drives.
There's no time.
He just hits my set, and I'm like, what the? Even better, he just opens up the back door.
He just climbs up the back. He climbs up the trunk.
He doesn't even open a door. He just randomly appears in the back of the car and just comes out. That'd be even better.
Oh my god, that would be the best.
I would actually cry. That'd be so funny.
I would call this podcast cursed and just end it right there.
Cursed.
Cursed. Podcast is cursed.
Just gone wrong. Just block it with your hand. Gone wrong. It'd be like that.
Oh no, Jesse.
Does he have a stack of cheese? What is that?
Did he?
Did you guys miss me?
Yeah.
Jesse,
is that cheese? Did you bring cheese?
Did you bring a stack of cheese? What is that?
No, it's a rag.
Is it not socks?
No, I had to.
It could be socks or cheese.
I had to check on my grandmother, and when I was out, I blew my nose, so that's the rag.
Okay.
In case I have to blow my nose again.
I thought you left, and you just had a big thing of just American cheese slices in your hand.
I mean,
and you brought them in so you could snack on them while we talk.
No. I did that with bananas once.
Jesse, you missed it though. We were saying how it would be funny. You walk out the door, you appear behind Luke, and just
like you
climbing out his car.
Because Gustavo said it would have been weird if you, like, when you left the door, you just came into my camera somehow, and we just swapped.
Because it's reversed. Like it's there, but yeah, that's cool. Banana. Yes. Oh, so we're all in agreement, right?
Yes.
So just
Cheese.
as Daniel's, don't you have a series debunking stuff like this, Daniel?
It's called cheese.
It is called cheese. No, wait. It's called.
Wait, is that the same
myths?
Is that the same?
Conceptions.
Is that the same Jorge that made this shirt? Are you that same Jorge?
I think it is.
With my daughter and I.
It
I bought her shirt like it, and she loves it. She cannot believe that she is a cartoon.
That's amazing.
It's great, yeah.
But yes, there is a series on Jesse's channel which has a name that I amusingly can't pronounce properly. It's called Gaming Myths and Misconceptions. Or as I keep saying, myths and myth-conceptions. Myths and myth-conceptions.
The other name for it is just cheese.
Cheese. That's the other name. That's the subtitle.
Jesse's series is just called Cheese. American and blue.
Episode
but
2.
Not Gouda.
So it was supposed to be a top 10, but we had to split it into 2 top 5s because the script, I go into a lot of detail and add in like the actual proof and stuff, like the interviews and everything on my scripts. That way someone can't be like,
Proof.
oh, that's not true because blah,
Or
blah,
as
blah.
we call the proof, cheddar.
Yeah. So the part 2 of the top 10 is sitting at 234 likes, 13 dislikes, 80 comments, and about 6,000 views.
13 people don't want to be enlightened.
Part 1, if I can find it. Is sitting at about 25,000 views, 160 comments, 819 likes, 47 dislikes. So if you want to go and find some real Zelda facts and like a video series that cuts out all of the
true facts.
Yeah, like there's a lot of rumors, straight up lies, misconceptions that are spread about the Zelda series. So just like this rumor, someone could read this rumor, believe it to be true, and then go out and tell everyone, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of people believing this, and if a bunch of people believe it,
oh my gosh, Breath of Darkness is coming out.
Yeah, like they're going to be arguing with people being like, no, you're stupid, it's not going to be Breath of the Wild 2 because it's confirmed it's going to be called Breath of Darkness. Like there's actual people that's going to be doing that.
Oh my gosh. Adult Link in Ocarina of Time is the dad of young Link from Ocarina of Time.
That's almost as stupid as the BuzzFeed video. Where they said every Link is the son or the descendant of the previous Link.
Yeah.
That statement hurt me.
And I'm like, the entire point of Wind Waker, sir, is that
then how do you explain the part where he died? he was not making any babies.
Yeah.
After, being killed. It just doesn't make no sense was made that day.
Yeah. Anyways, can we move on to the next?
Wait.
Speaking of
what?
We're moving on to the next thing.
He wasn't killed in Wind Waker?
No, Ocarina was killed. Link was killed, and then
Link was killed in the Downfall timeline.
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Wind
yeah.
Waker, he was sent back in time, so he doesn't exist anymore.
117.
What?
Just write down 117.
Okay.
I was gonna say, in Wind Waker, he's just a hero that randomly left and never came back.
Just
he didn't
die. Guys, Pull up the gamer thing. Here's what we're going to do. It says 10 plot holes, but we're just going to talk about one each. Since we're kind of running long. So we're if you go down to topic of discussion, it says 10 plot holes and mysteries in Zelda.
Okay.
Click on it, and then...
Oh, not the controller thing?
And then no, we're going to do the controller thing after this.
After this break, after this message from our sponsors. Hi there. Are you tired of people spreading misinformation about the Legend of Zelda series? Okay, that's my commercial for you.
Then do I have a solution for you? It's called Zeldapedia.
Touche. So, should we introduce this article from
do you want to do it? Since I did the last one.
Okay. Okay, guys. Everybody loves torturing us.
Not as energetic as the last time when you did it, but we still want you energetic, Daniel, as your director. Technically as your boss, even though I always call you the boss.
You need to increase your power level, okay? You need to just sit there and just scream. Yeah, basically like that, yeah.
Well, he got more handsome.
Right. So,
I thought you were muted for a second. I was like, is he screaming?
I was screaming so loud that the mic couldn't
I picked
pick it
number
up.
10. So.
Oh, great. All right, well, here's what I'm just going to introduce everybody.
So here we go. Home consoles. The Famicom, which this is Japanese name, so that's the I used to call it the regular Nintendo. Right. Instead of the NES, I would call it the regular Nintendo and then the Super Nintendo. So it was is this right? Hold on.
I don't know. Holding on.
Yeah, okay, so the Famicom was codenamed Home Video Computer Family Computer.
Jeez, I'm glad they shortened that.
The NES was Advanced Video System Prototype NES. The Super Famicom was SFX, which is what you said, right?
Well, I said, was it something like Canoe or something like that?
It says SFX Super Family Computer. The Super Nintendo is just the SNES here. I don't know. Maybe this is wrong, but it has the rest of them for sure. Nintendo 64, Project Reality was the code name for it because that was the name of the chip that they used. If you go to YouTube and just type in Project Reality, you will see a graphic demonstration of like what the Nintendo 64 pushed to its maximum capabilities looks like. And that was like using the computer chip in a computer, not a Nintendo 64. And then it was going to be called the Ultra 64. The GameCube was going to be the Dolphin. For the Wii, it just has the Revolution, which is weird because I always thought that Revolution was just what they were going to call it, not the nickname. The Wii U was Project Cafe, and then the Wii U Project. The Nintendo Switch, does everybody remember its code name?
NX.
Yeah. Which I always thought was like Nintendo Cross, which kind of still makes sense.
It does.
Instead of NX, I looked at it as Nintendo Cross. Handheld.
Supposedly, at least I heard that the only person who knew what NX stood for was Iwata, and he took that secret to the grave. They were like, no, we don't know. It was Iwata's thing. No, we don't know what NX actually stood for. Nice. But it probably was Nintendo Cross. Like, that makes the most sense, honestly.
So here for the Game Boy, this is handheld. Right. We're just doing this, guys. This is a topic and a topic.
We're just gonna do it.
Maybe I'll split this out to be its own video. All right, so Game Boy, 1989. Jeez, I can't believe that. That was before I was born. Dot Matrix Game was its name. Dot Matrix Game. Virtual Boy. Virtual Utopia Experience VR 32. 32 because it was a 32-bit console. Like the Game Boy Advance was also 32-bit. The PlayStation was 32-bit. That doesn't mean they were all equal in power, though. Project Atlantis. Do you remember that?
No, what is that?
I think Project Atlantis was going to be like after the Game Boy Advance. They were going to have a new Game Boy console. But then,
but then the DS happened instead?
They killed, because they said the DS, like the Wii U, like the Switch, was just going to be a third platform. It wasn't going... The DS was not going to replace the Game Boy.
Supposedly.
Despite it having a place for you to play Game Boy Advance games on it. But they had this Project Atlantis that was supposedly almost as powerful as like somewhere between a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64, which is what handheld games usually do. It's like it's always a half step between the last gen console and the new gen console. Like Game Boy Advance was already between Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64. Project Atlantis was going to be just a little bit closer. It was going to be like a thick Game Boy.
That Game Boy is thick.
But it was just called Atlantis. Game Boy Pocket was going to be Mini Game Boy was the name. Game Boy Color, Color Game Boy, Game Boy Advanced, Advanced Game Boy. Some of these names, they're not very good. Game Boy Advanced SP. Game Boy Special. I didn't know that. SP means special.
Yeah.
Do you knew that?
I did.
Okay. Guess the Game Boy Micro. Do you remember that? The little tiny
Micro
thing?
Game Boy.
No. Oxygen.
Small. Oxygen. That's so weird.
Nintendo DS. Do you remember this one? This was a good one.
What, dual screen?
No.
I know the DS stands for dual screen, but...
Iris Nitro DS.
Whoa.
DS
Extreme.
Lite. DS Lite was Usagata, which means thin.
Wow.
Here's some good ones.
Good one, Nintendo.
Some good ones. Probably because Twilight Princess did so well. The Nintendo DSi. 2008. Codenamed
Wolf.
Twilight.
Oh, okay.
DSi XL. Codename Ultra Twilight.
Oh, okay.
3DS. They named the emulator after it, similar to Dolphin.
Oh, Citra?
Yeah, Citra. You got it. 3DS XL, the one that Aonuma promised would not released.
Big.
SPR.
SPR, it's so boring.
2DS, FTR, new 3DS, Control. KONTROLLE.
Oh, do we want to tell them that they made a typo?
New 3DS XL, Project Infrared.
Interesting.
And then peripheral systems. Shouldn't the what was it? The Virtual Boy should be here. Peripheral.
Yeah, I was gonna say Virtual Boy. Would that be like
Red?
Yeah.
That's
so
the code name. Red.
just Project Red.
So they have the SNES CD, codenamed Super Disc PlayStation.
Yes.
Nintendo 64 DD, Nintendo Ultra Disc. They are missing two, I think. Yeah,
we got the Game Boy Advance player.
No. They are missing the Famicom Disk System and the Super Famicom attachment. Like, I don't know if it was a disc system or
that was the one. That was it. PlayStation one.
No. They were like the one for the Super Nintendo to plug in to play the BS Zelda games and everything.
Oh, the Satellaview.
Yeah, that wasn't in here.
Oh.
That was the only way that you could play a lot of really good Super Nintendo games. Like actual remakes of, like, I think there was 2 different remakes of the original Zelda game and then one remake of A Link to the Past.
And comment below to let us know what type of videos you would like to see us create in the future. And if you would really like to support all of us here at the Game Over Jessie channel, please consider purchasing a Game Over Jessie t-shirt or becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJessie, where you can receive many rewards, such as getting shoutouts, having any topic or theory that you select discussed on the podcast or made into its own video, having your question answered, joining on as a guest on the podcast, and playing with us during our Twitch live streams at twitch.tv/GameOverJessie, and much, much more.